Hi, and welcome to your pregnancy Vinyasa yoga class. Today, we're going to be moving a little bit more dynamically. So a lot more repetition, a bit more flowy as we work down close to the ground, as well as some standing and balancing poses. This is a class that you can do at any stage of your pregnancy. I'm joining you in my third trimester, now currently 32 weeks. And I will give you a couple of variations, but ultimately, no pregnancy is the same, no yoga practice is the same. So I encourage you to keep checking in and listening to your body and adjust as you need to. Something doesn't feel good, skip it out, adjust, change your alignment, maybe even take a bit of a breather, pause the video and join us once again. If you feel at any time that you need to stop the practice, listen to your body. It's the biggest recommendation I can give. Maybe you get halfway through this video and you decide you need Shavasana. You do you. All right, so for the practice today, I'm going to have a set of blocks available. So we're going to use this for our standing poses just to sort of assist with having our hands on them. It's not necessary, but it's really nice in the second half of your pregnancy. And then I'm also going to have a bolster available. And this is more for our Shavasana at the end. So if you want to grab a pillow, you can just set that off to the side. We won't need it for most of the class, but you can just have it available there. And then when you are ready, we are going to get started in a comfortable seat. So that can be cross-legged. You can also have your hips propped up on your pillow or your block if you want to. Have your hands resting down onto the knees, roll the shoulders back and down. And just take a moment to close your eyes, settle into your shape. Maybe taking a nice sigh out as you just fully arrive on your mat today. And find a bit of a deeper connection to your breath, noticing what your breath is doing today. What does it feel like? Maybe you're practicing in the morning or the evening. How does this breath feel different? Maybe you even notice if there's a particular part of the body that you can feel the breath more in. Is it the shoulders, the chest, the belly? Where do you feel more connected to your breath? And then we'll take a moment just to connect hands to baby or hands to belly. And always taking a moment here just to acknowledge that we're not just practicing with ourselves today. We've got our little human practicing with us too, which is such a beautiful experience. So use this class to not only nurture your body, but to nurture your connection to baby as well. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here. And 1 more breath. Let your hands connect onto the knees for seated cat and cow. So on your inhale, just finding a little pull of the shoulders back, squeezing the elbows to the side of the body. Try to make a little arch into your back. As you exhale, lean back onto your seated cat pose. Almost got them confused there. And then flowing between the two. So as you inhale, chest pulls forward, breath in, you can lift up the chest and the chin if you want, and exhale, rocking back. Now you may feel as baby starts to grow, you can't rock back as much, and that's totally fine. But just find a nice little fluid movement, inhaling up and exhaling back. We're going to be working quite a bit with our spine today. So moving through side bends, little safe back bends. So this is just a nice way to tune in with how the back is feeling. Let's do 2 more. And the last one. Bringing yourself all the way back up. Take your right hand down onto the floor. Nice stretch with your left arm up and over. Let the head soften and relax down as you reach that left arm away from you. Take a nice full breath in. And full breath out. Inhale, both arms will come up. Big stretch up at the top. And then we'll take the left hand down and side bend over to that left side, reaching that right arm away from you. Bringing yourself all the way up. Let your hands release down to the side. Change the cross of your legs and bring your hands onto your knees once again. This time we're going to create some nice big circles. So you'll take your body over to that left side and just rotate that body around, creating some nice big circles as you go. Let's do 2 more this way around, just to kind of get into the sides, the back, the hips, and also just notice how the body's feeling today. So these little check-in poses give us an opportunity to notice which parts might feel nice, what parts feel a little bit sticky, changing direction. Let's do our 5 rounds the other way. And our last circle out. Bringing the body all the way up. Keep your right leg as it is. Extend your left leg out to the side, flexing through that left foot. Inhale, both arms sweep up. As you exhale, twist to the right side. Take your right hand behind your back, left hand onto that right knee, not pulling into the twist, just holding yourself at a very comfortable twist today. Taking 3 breaths here. Keep your left hand where it is. Right arm is going to reach up and over in the direction of that left foot. Now, I know that left foot is far, but that's the direction we're reaching it. One more breath. On your inhale, bring yourself up. Take your right hand almost to the outside of your right hip. Going to push down onto the inside of your left foot and your right knee. Swing the hips forward and come into kind of a modified side plank variation. Push the hips forward so we get a nice stretch through the front of the body. Exhale, come all the way down. Turn to face your left leg into a hamstring stretch. So your hands can just frame that left shin, going as far as what feels comfortable for your legs today. It is our first hamstring stretch, so maybe there's a little bend into the knee for now. We're going to repeat that 2 more times. So we're going to take the inhale, the arms up. Right hand comes down, sweeping up and forward into what we call a stargazer. That's at least what I've always known it to be called. And then slowly lowering all the way down, stretching over your left foot. Last one, inhale up. Over to right hand down, stargazer, push the hips up. If you want, just stretching that left arm up overhead. And then exhale, lowering all the way down and changing the other leg. So left leg is going to bend in, right leg comes out to the side, inhale, arms up. And first just into our twist, left hand behind the back, right hand to left knee and just holding it there. Take your right hand, or keep your right hand where it is, left arm reaches up and over in the direction of that right foot. This is going to take us into our first stargaze on this side. So you'll bring yourself up, ground for that left hand, the left knee, inside of the right foot, push your hips up. And exhale, lower down, stretching over your right shin. I really enjoy that stretch just for the side body, the back, the front of the hips, kind of feels it gets into all the good places. Inhale, arms up. We've got 2 more like that. Left hand down, pushing the hips up. Lowering down and stretching over your right leg. Last one comes up. Bring your left hand down. Last time to stretch, push the hips forward. And then drop the hips down. Last time to stretch over that right leg. And then bringing the body all the way up. Let's make our way onto our hands and our knees. So just finding your all four shape. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees about hip width apart, and cat and cow here. So what you can do with your inhale is you can find a gentle arch into the back if it feels fine for your spine. We're not really letting ourselves go into a full range of motion, just letting a little bit of a back bend there. And then on your exhale, hugging baby to spine, push into the hands into your cat stretch. You're just going to flow between the two. If the back bend doesn't feel good, then just move between your cat stretch and neutral spine. And then the next time the breath comes, you'll just round it out. Let's do another 4 more. And rounding. Finishing off your last 2. And the last one. Now, one of my favorites for pregnancy into our bird dog. Keep your hands and knees grounded. Send your right leg back behind you. Just keep the right toes grounded for now. I'm going to give you a few options to work with. So you can choose to stay here, maybe lifting that right leg up. If you're happy to stay, and you can, like I said, you can stay, or you can take it a little notch up by extending your left arm forward. Keep pushing that right hand into ground, hugging baby, drawing into spine, holding it there for 3 breaths. And then lowering all the way down onto the second side, keeping the body nice and strong. Left leg lifts up, staying here, or right arm moves forward. Dropping hand and knee down. Take your knees wide, toes to touch, pushing back into a child stretch just for a moment. And maybe in your later half of pregnancy, you may want to stay up on your elbows just to give yourself more space. So this pose is here for you whenever you need it, or actually any other pose that feels best for your body. Let's take 3 more breaths. And then releasing back up onto our hands and knees. We're going to move a little bit more dynamically here. So we'll keep our hands grounded. Send your right leg back, bend into that right knee, lifting the toes up. This is going to be our inhale. As you exhale, take that right knee towards that right armpit. So trying to squeeze it up as high as you can. Inhale, taking it up, holding it there. Lean forward into your hands for a little chaturanga push-up. So you're going to lean forward, keep your body as a whole, bend into the elbows, lower down halfway, and a big push up. Now, maybe you're not going halfway, that's fine. Take an inhale here. We do 2 more. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, take it up. Lean forward into your hands. Little chaturanga push-up. You're really warming up the body nicely today. Inhale here. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. This is our last one. Inhale up. Lean forward into the hands. Hug baby to spine. Little chaturanga push-up. Bring yourself all the way up. Move that right hand out the way. Step that right foot forward. Now, if you're like me, I need to bring myself up and shuffle that right foot all the way into a lunge. Taking the hands onto that right knee and finding a nice lunge, low lunge position here. You can even take that right foot a little bit wider as we get used to making space for baby. Once you've got a nice comfortable stance, inhale, arms reach up. Holding it here. Right hand reaches down, side bend over to the right side. Inhale, arms up. And left hand down. Inhale, both arms are going to reach up. Going to take the hands behind the head and kind of like you're lying on a hammock on the beach, just finding a little lift into the chest. So we're finding a little back bend here. If the balance feels a bit tricky, you're going to keep the gaze down and not look up towards the ceiling. And kind of just feeling a little bit more of that stretch in the upper body. One more breath. Inhale, brings the body back up. Release your hands to the inside of that right foot. Maybe take that right foot a little bit wider. Now, this is where I really like having my blocks available because lowering down, hands to floor can feel a little bit squashed. So having your hands on knees just helps you a little bit higher up. We're going to flow between our low lunge and our half split. So on the inhale, finding a little lunge forward. As you exhale, send the hips back, straightening out that leg. And sometimes it takes a bit of getting used to that right positioning for hands and legs. And then when you're ready, we'll flow between them. Inhale forward. And exhale back. We'll do 3 more, just with your own breath. And we're not going to our full stretch here. We're just kind of moving between the two into that feel-good range. Good. Next time you're back in your half splits, hold it there. And then coming back into your lunge, take your hands above that right knee, lift yourself up, and we'll just take that right knee back down, and then coming back up onto our hands and our knees so we can repeat on the second side. Left leg extends back, bending into that left knee. Right, you got your 3 little crunches here. So the inhale, left leg reaches up. Exhale, squeeze that left knee in towards the arm. Inhale, left leg back. Reach or lean into the fingertips. Little push-up. Now, these are becoming a little bit tough. You don't have to do them fully, but challenge the upper body here. Inhale at the top. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Inhale, extend it back. Lean forward, little chaturanga. Good, we've got 1 more like that. Left knee, left elbow. Inhale, extend it up. Little push-up. Doesn't matter how little it is. Bringing it all the way up. Maybe step that left hand out the way so that you can come up into your low lunge. Find your nice comfortable stance with your hands above that left knee, especially in pregnancy where we might want it a little bit wider. And then reaching the arms up into your low lunge. Taking 2 more breaths here. Left hand down, side bend over to the left side. Bringing the arms up. And right hand down onto the right side. This side you tend to not go as far. Both arms come up, hands behind the head, keeping your gaze down, or just leaning back as you find a very little back bend. Opening the shoulders up, feeling a nice stretch in the front of the chest. And then we'll bring the body all the way up. Release the hands down to the inside of that left foot. Make a little bit of space here. Now this is where you can put your hands on blocks. Take an inhale into your lunge. And exhale, rock back, half splits. You're going to move with your own breath here, just feeling what it's like in this hip on this side. And leaning back. Let's do 3 more. And heading into your last one. Once you come back into your half splits, you can hold it there, just feeling out through the stretch. And then bring yourself all the way forward. Let's take our hands above that left knee, lifting yourself up, stepping that left knee back next to the right, and we'll come down onto our hands and our knees once again. Before we move into down dog, you can do a little bit more for the spine here. So from all fours, take your hands just a little bit further forward. Now I want you to check in with how your back feels here. We are going to move into a little bit of extension. Once again, you're going to check what it feels like for you. So the first thing is to take the knees a little bit wider, push back into a sort of crouching child's pose position. So you can even widen the knees, send the hips back so that the arms are stretching forward. Now, as you inhale, we're going to come forward, and you can either just keep yourself in like a plank position. If you feel like it feels fine for the back, you can move into kind of a cobra pose. But we're trying to find not so much a hanging down into the spine. I want you to feel that you're still at a nice comfortable range where baby feels supported. The back doesn't feel like it's going too far. I'm still feeling like I'm hugging baby in a little bit here. So it's not a full range into my back or hanging into that back bend, especially with the belly as it starts to grow. But sometimes these little back bends can feel really nice. And rocking back. So this is kind of like where that little intuitive vibe comes in. You've got to see, does it work for you? Does it not? And rocking back. Going to do 2 more. And the last one. Next time you push back into a child stretch, tuck the toes, send the hips up and back into downward facing dog. Draw the heels down. You can widen the feet. Let the head relax, and maybe if it feels good, it'll sway side to side. We'll take 3 breaths here. Bending into the knees, walk the hands all the way back to the feet. Make sure your feet are wide enough, and you can roll all the way back and up into a standing position. When you're at the top, roll the shoulders back and down, connect hands to baby, and just take 3 breaths here as you just find your way into your standing shape. We're going to flow through a few rounds of a modified sun salutation. So hands along the side of the body, take an inhale, high mountain. Bending into the knees, leading forward with the chest. Exhale all the way down into your forward fold. Hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, bring your hands to mat. Walk yourself forward into your plank pose. At any time if plank is too much, drop your knees down. We'll all drop our knees together then. Take an inhale into your cow pose. Exhale to cat, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. So I'm going to skip up our chaturanga and up dogs for now. We did them earlier. And just move through cat and cow there. 2 more breaths, getting some nice work through the arms. Bending the knees, walking the hands all the way back to the feet. And rolling up to standing, looping the shoulders back and down at the top, and taking a breath. And even something like sun salutations, they get really tricky later on in pregnancy. Hands to the side, inhale, high mountain. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to mat, walk yourself forward into your plank, drop your knees as soon as you need to. Depends on where you are in your pregnancy and how your plank feels. Lower the knees down altogether now. Inhale into a cow. Exhale, cat pose, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Now keep your left leg where it is. You're going to send that right leg up, bending into that knee, open up into the hip. You're just going to feel what it's like here to be inverted. At any time, if this is too much, lower the knees down, take a child's pose. Swapping it out. Right leg down, left leg up, bending into the knee, open the hip. Lowering that left foot down, knees come down onto the floor once again, and walking your hands all the way up. into a kneeling position. You can turn sideways onto your mat. Your right leg is going to come out to the side into a gate pose. Inhale, arm sweep up. Right hand down, side bend over to the right side. And just hold it here for a couple of breaths. Your inhale will bring both arms up. Take your left hand down onto the floor or onto a block. It really depends on you. But I want you to lean into that hand quite far away from you. So I actually prefer it without a block. Leaning into that hand, lifting the right leg up. You can hold it here. If you can, bend into that back knee. See if you can grab a hold of the foot and come into a nice quad stretch. Kicking back into that leg so we can get a nice stretch along the front of the body. And then slowly releasing that foot all the way down, walking your hands forward so that the hands are underneath the shoulders. Right leg is still out to the side. Left hand is going to stay down. We're going to inhale, reach that right arm up into a twist. And exhale, bring the hand back down. Okay, 2 more. Inhale up. And exhale down. Last one, inhale up, holding it there. And then bringing that right hand all the way back down, stepping your right knee in, left leg out to the side, and rising up to gate pose on the second side. Arms are going to extend up. Take your left hand down, and your right arm reaches up and over. Let's take it up and over into that side plank variation to lean into that hand to get a little bit of space there. Left arm reaches up. You're more than welcome to stay. Or lift that leg up and see if you can grab a hold of the back leg. This becomes so much harder in pregnancy as baby starts to grow. So it can be really tough. Maybe you're just reaching back for that leg. It'll get there. And once you're into that bind, you can kick that leg back for 2 more breaths. And then slowly releasing it all the way down. Walk your hands all the way in front of you. Right hand is going to stay down. Inhale, left arm up. Good. 2 more repetitions of that. Left hand comes down and opening it up. Good. Last time, left hand down. Left arm reaches up, opening it up, holding it there. And then bringing the hands all the way back down, stepping your left knee in. Let's come back onto our hands and our knees, lifting up into a kneeling position. Let's take our left foot forward, just to change it up a little bit here. Interlacing the hands above that left knee, tuck the back toes, rising up into a high lunge. So you're going to find a nice comfortable stance here for you. Maybe that means widening the feet, narrowing the stance, whatever feels good. Take an inhale, arms reach up. Good. Left hand comes down, leaning over to the left side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to the right. Inhale, reaches up. Take the hands behind the head. And then depending how the balancing feels, feels like a back bend for me, but I know it doesn't look like much because our back bends become a little bit limited in pregnancy. So it's just a little opening in the front of the body. Slowly release, bring your hands onto your hips. And just to really get more of a stretch into that back leg here, I'm going to bend into that right knee a little bit. And then lifting it back up. So thinking of your lunges here. Let's do 3 more. Bending into that knee. Feel that stretch. And lift it up. Last 2. And up. And the last one. Okay, bringing it all the way up, straightening out through your front leg. You can either bring your hands down onto your shin or hands onto your blocks for your pyramid pose. So I'm going to take my left foot a lot wider here to make space for my hands on blocks, and then shuffle your back foot maybe in slightly so you can ground the heel to give you a little bit more balance. Pulling that left hip back. And we'll hold our pyramid pose here. So in our pyramid stance, our feet are a little bit wider. I want you to just shuffle that right leg so it's a little bit more in line with the left. Turn your right toes towards the long edge of the mat. The left hand is going to stay. You're going to open up into a triangle pose. So left hand down, right arm up, shuffle your feet as you need to. And then become light on that left hand. Lift yourself all the way up, reversing your triangle, right hand down, left arm up and over. Into your warrior two, bend into your left knee, shuffle your feet here. Right, so you're kind of playing around with your stance. You want to keep in mind the alignment you already know about yoga, but maybe you also want to find a little bit more of your pregnancy variation. So your left heel may be lining up with your right arch of your foot, but we're keeping our gaze over the left fingertips, knees going somewhat over the toes. All right, so you're just kind of feeling out what feels good here. Holding for 3 breaths. And we're going to find a little bit of flow. So as you inhale, you're going to straighten the legs, straighten the arms. Exhale into your warrior two. 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale, warrior two. Last one. Inhale up. And exhale, warrior two. Good. Bring your hands onto your hips, straighten your legs out, parallel through the feet. Good. Now I'm going to give you an option here. So we're going to come into a forward fold. You may want to keep your hands onto the hips and just lower hands down onto the floor. If you would like to, you can interlace your hands behind the back. And as you go into your forward fold, let your arms stretch overhead. Now this is up to you depending on how your shoulders feel. If that doesn't feel good and you want more support, hands are going to be on the floor. So you're going to pick your option there. I know there's a lot of inversions in this class, which means our head is lower than our heart. So sometimes having the hands on blocks and keeping the head in line with the hips may help if you're feeling a little bit nauseous or heartburn or anything like that. But in those cases, maybe it's also a good idea to move slower, to wind down, or maybe choose a more restorative practice. Maybe it depends how you feel today. Lower the hips or lower the hands all the way down to the hips and onto the floor if they aren't there already. Heels draw in, toes out, bending into the knees, rising up into a goddess stance. Inhale, arms reach up. As you exhale, bring your hands down onto the knees and just kind of like shuffle the weight from side to side. Good. Bring yourself all the way back through to center, straighten the legs out, heel toe the feet all the way to the middle. And we'll stay with our left foot grounded. We just did our left leg. Going to have our hands onto our hips. Now, if there's a wall nearby or something that's going to help, you definitely can do that. We're going to lift our right leg up. And see if we can create a little circle here. So the right knee is going to go out to the side, back behind us, and bring it all the way back. Okay, one more in that direction. Just testing the balance out of it. And then 2 the other way around. So the leg goes back, kick it back as far as you can behind you. Swing it around and forward. 1 more. Back, all the way, and forward. Step both feet down onto the floor. Release the hands down to the side, close the eyes. You can also connect hands to belly if you want. And just take 3 deep breaths here. Blinking, open the eyes. Coming to stand at the back of the mat. I'm going to change direction so I face you, but you can stay your same direction. So we're going to be at the back of the mat, sun salutation into a downward dog. Take an inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to shins, halfway lift. Exhale, walk your way all the way into a plank pose just to transition into a downward dog. So we'll send the hips up and back and take 3 breaths here. Lower the knees down onto the floor. Bring yourself up into a kneeling position. We take our right leg forward this time. Okay, so into our lunge, take your hands above that right knee, lifting up through the back toes or lifting up through the back knee into our high lunge. Arms sweep up. Now play around with your stance here. Get a nice comfortable position that feels good for your base so that we're working from the foundation up. Take the right hand down, side bend to the right. Inhale, arms up and over to the left. Arms reach up, you take the hands behind the head, little lift of the chest. And then bring the body all the way back up. We're going to move into our 3-4 lunges here. So you can bring the hands down onto the hips or keep the hands behind the head. Find a little bend, dropping that left knee down. And then bringing it up. Good, 3 more. Bending the knee. And bringing it up. Last 2. And the last one. Okay, straightening the legs out. Hands come down onto that right shin. Adjusting your foot if you need to. Maybe if you've got blocks, it really helps here to take that right foot wider and come into your pyramid stance. Now, this is one of those poses I've really felt I need to adjust my feet to make space for baby. So that's why pregnancy yoga, while we've got our traditional alignment rules, it changes in pregnancy because we need to adjust for our changing body. 2 more breaths. Slide that left foot so it's a bit more in line with the right. We'll be opening up into a triangle pose. So your right hand will stay onto your block or your shin, and your left arm will open up. Adjust your feet as you need to. You always have a little bend into that right knee if that feels more comfortable. One more breath. Become light in that right hand. Lift the body up. Drop your left hand down. Right arm reaches up and over. And then into your warrior 2. Right knee bends. Arms reach out nice and strong ahead of you. And once again, make sure you're comfortable in your stance. Make sure your feet are happy. The hips feel happy. Baby's happy. You're happy. So adjust as you need to. And then we add our little flow on here where we inhale, straighten the leg, arms reach up. Exhale into warrior 2. Getting some nice leg work in. 3 more. Inhale up. And exhale, warrior 2. 2 more. And the last one. Holding it there. Straighten that leg all the way up, parallel through the feet. So you're going to turn the feet towards the long edge of your mat. You can make your stance less or more depending on what feels comfortable for you. Once again, either hands behind the back or lowering down, hands to the floor. Your hands are back behind you. Drop the hands down to the hips and onto the floor anyway where we'll all meet. And then drawing the heels in, toes out, rolling up, bring the hands onto those knees, and find a nice little rock from side to side. Okay, lifting yourself all the way back up, heel toeing the feet together, and we've got that balance with the right leg grounded. So we're going to have the hands onto the hips. If you have a wall or support nearby and you need it, please use it for this balancing section. Find a nice steady focus on the floor And just moving that hip through 2 circles in each direction. Now you're also choosing how big or how small you want these circles to be. And then change it out just to show you from the back. Leg goes back behind us, rounding it in. And then coming to stand with your feet about hip width apart. Bring your hands to baby. Close your eyes or gaze down to the floor. And just connect back with your breath. And then blinking open the eyes. We're going to move into a dancer's pose for a balance. So once again, it's helpful to have a wall here if you feel you need more support. So during pregnancy, our center of gravity starts to shift as baby starts to grow. So balancing can become a lot trickier. So wherever you are, there's a wall, a chair, or something you can hold onto, especially if you feel we're adjusting to this new balance. I highly recommend you do that. So we're going to come to stand on our left leg. Wall can be on your left side. Bending into your right knee, see if you can grab the inside of that right foot. Now, sometimes it helps to bend into that left knee to get it. And from here, all we're going to do is find a little kick back. Now, we're not going to go as far into the back bend as dancer's pose usually is, but as we find a little bit of a kick, we're going to find a lean forward, nice steady spot on the floor, and see if you can maybe release your hand. But the hand can always stay there. So we're really about getting a bit more of a stretch through the front of that right leg. And then slowly release. And coming back down. Good. And just checking in how that felt on this side. Completely new sensations during these poses in pregnancy. And sometimes there can be a lot of fear around balancing or doing a back bend or doing things like that. But there's so much we can do in pregnancy if we take it slow and we just listen to the changes in our body. Let's try over to the other side. If you don't want to do it, that's all good. All right, so we're holding on with the right hand to a wall, bending into that left knee, grabbing a hold of the inside of the foot, and first it's just a little kick back. And this might be enough. If you want to, you can lean forward. And then slowly release it all the way down. And let that left leg land down onto the floor. Okay, let's shake it out. Regardless how that balance went, easy, hard, stable, shaky, doesn't matter. Let's move on from it. Take the hands onto the belly and just find a nice little sway from side to side. You can even widen the feet a bit. And if you want to sigh out through the mouth, all right, come back through to the center. Keep your feet nice and wide, toes outwards. We're going to kind of roll down and come into a squat position. So this might work for you, it might not. It's one of the ways we come into the pose. But we're going to roll down just so we can bring the hands down onto the floor, bending into the knees. Let the knees come out to the side. All right. Now, once you're here, you can sort of make some space. Maybe you can drop the heels down and bring the hands into heart center, or you can keep the hands grounded for a bit more support. And we're just going to hold for 5 breaths. Good. Take the hands down onto the floor. You can take the knees down, swing the legs over to one side, and come into a butterfly stretch. So soles of the feet are together. You can take the feet a little bit more into a diamond shape and just let the body relax over the legs. And we'll hold these poses for a little bit longer as we start to wind down. Walking the hands all the way up. Keep your right leg as it is. We're going to lean over onto that right leg, or right hip, so we can turn that back knee back. Those cues weren't that great. But anyway, we're coming into the zigzag shape. The front leg should be forward and the back knee bent in. Take your hands above that right shin and leaning forward so we get a nice hip stretch here. Walking the hands all the way up. And then you'll just take both knees over to the other side so that you have your hands ahead of that left shin and walking forward into what we call our deer pose. Yeah, walking your hands all the way back up. I'm going to step both feet down onto the floor. Keep your blocks handy because we are going to use them as we make our way down onto our back, and your pillows nearby for relaxation. So for our supine poses, let's roll down onto our side. First, just come to lie onto that right side. If you want to use a block or something under the head, just to keep the head a little bit more elevated, we'll come here. All right, so lying on that right side, right arm's going to stay, and you're going to just rotate that left shoulder up towards the ceiling into a degree of a twist that feels fine for your back and for your body. And then rolling back onto your side. Let's take it over to the second side. So we're just entering our twist from side lying, which I find a little bit more comfortable. So you'll lie on your left side so that the knees are grounded. And then it's just the right shoulder that opens up as far as what feels good for you. And then we'll come to roll all the way onto our back. And once you get to lying on your back, take your feet about hip width apart. All right, feet are going to step in nice and close. And we're going to do just 4 rounds of bridge pose. So just curling the hips up, get a nice lift at the top, and curling the body back down. Good, 3 more like that, lifting up. And lower. Last 2. And lower. And on the last one, you can grab a hold of your block if you've got it, or a pillow. And then placing your block underneath your hips, kind of your sacrum. So it's under the bony bit that's between sort of your hips and your lower back. All right, so it should feel like it's supporting under the pelvis. If you don't have a block, then I want you to just return to a knock-knee position because otherwise it's hard to hold your hips up. All right, and we'll just feel it here for a couple of breaths. So let's take 3 more breaths with both legs centered. And anytime if lying on your back doesn't feel comfortable, I just want you to roll onto your left side and take a couple of deep breaths there until we head into our Shavasana. You can choose to stay here in your supported bridge pose. If you would like to add on a little bit more sensation, you can straighten your right leg out and just feel what it's like to stretch along the right side. Now, this is a gentle back bend, and something I've really found that I've missed during pregnancy is to get a little bit of extension in the spine. And while these ranges are a little bit limited, there's still so many ways we can do it, and it feels nice for our body. And of course, if it doesn't feel nice, we just don't do it. You can slide that right knee in and then extend that left leg out. Sliding that left knee in. Let's lift the hips up just so we can remove the block. Rolling the hips all the way back. Let the body settle at the bottom. And then take the feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. And rolling or moving the hips from side to side in what we call our windshield wipers. I was giving a little giggle there because every time I come into my back, particularly if I do bridge pose, then this baby will start kicking and moving quite vigorously. So it gets a lot of movement in this position. And so it's nice to have those little moments of connection in our classes too. And from here, we're going to move into our final Shavasana pose. And you've got options here. So like I said, it's nice to have a pillow. And if you are happy lying on your back, you can take your pillow underneath your knees and come to lie in a supine position. And while it's often not recommended to lie on your back for longer periods of time, if you experience any funny symptoms like dizziness, nausea, you can roll onto your left. Yeah. If you would like to explore a side lying position, which might be a nice option for you, you can either take your bolster between your knees and lie on your side, or you can take your bolster underneath your head in side lying, and you can just play around with whichever position feels most comfortable for you. Either way, I want you to find a shape that you feel you can fully soften and relax into for the next few moments. And for the first stretch of our Shavasana, just noticing what it feels like to find stillness after moving for the last 50-ish minutes. How does the body feel now compared to the start of the class? And whatever position you've chosen, maybe there's a palm or two that you can connect to, baby. To feel that moment between you and what's happening on the inside. And for now, that's all that this moment offers us. An opportunity to relax, unwind, and connect. So noticing if there's any more tension you can release from the body. Is there any more that you can just soften into the shape that you've chosen? Softening and relaxing through the breath so that it becomes really effortless and natural. Maybe if you feel most of the energy has been taken up by the mind, can we soften our thoughts as well? And just let them drift off to the side, knowing we'll come back to them later. But for now, our priority is stillness. We'll just give ourselves a couple more moments in the silence, just to really enjoy and soak up the stiller side of this practice. Now we'll bring you out of Shavasana when it's time, so for now, let's just enjoy these moments together. Before we start to move out of our Shavasana, take some time here just to notice what it feels like to be still. Do you find the stillness really inviting and comforting? Or do you find the stillness challenging? And both are fine. Just simply noticing how our body responds to the non-doing. And although we are doing something, we're being still, sometimes we can always feel during pregnancy, and I'm sure in our journeys postpartum and being parents, the urge to do a lot. So while our more dynamic vinyasa practices are really lovely to get us into our body, can we also prioritize these moments for stillness? To really be present, be mindful, to not rush too far with our day. And then when you're ready, you can start to invite some small movements to the fingers and the toes. You can stretch your arms up overhead, giving yourself a nice full body stretch. And then bringing yourself first into a side lying position if you're lying on your back. From there, you'll join us in side lying as we push through that top arm and take it really slow and steady, just to bring yourself up into a comfortable seat, cross-legged or legs extended. And just taking the hands to the knees as we check in with the seated shape. Bringing our hands through to heart center as we seal off our practice, just with a moment of gratitude and connection to ourselves. Thank you for carving out the time to move, to breathe, and to be present. It is always such an honor to guide these classes, and I thank you so much for joining me. When you're ready, you can blink open your eyes and welcome your awareness back to your day. And thank you so much.